Hello, hi to everyone. My name is Anelia, and today I'm having the honor to have a short discussion with my friend Marko Boko from Croatia, who is from the conference alumni, and he's also a youth activist from Croatia. Hi, Marko.
Hi, Anelia, and hi, everybody following this short discussion.
I would start because we are 3 days before the Europe Day, 9th of May. So I would start with one simple question. Marco, do you feel as a European citizen today?
Absolutely, I do feel as a European citizen, and basically many things that I do fit under this definition, I would say. For like more than 10 years ago, I joined the organization which is called Young European Federalists, which is a pan-European youth movement, and there is a Croatian branch, and basically that's where I started my activist path, let's say. And then through Young European Federalists, I got also involved into the National Youth Council of Croatia, where I was president, meaning I was also representing the organization in the European Youth Forum. So basically, everything I was doing in the youth sector was always linked to the European sphere. And now I'm working for the European Parliament, which means that, for more than 10 years, I'm living this European idea, I'm thinking of it, and basically everything I do is some way of trying to contribute to the development of the European idea and promotion of the European values, not only in Croatia, in the region, but also on the European level. But I would say that the most important part of my work was and still is here in the region. I had many opportunities to work with young people in the region, also with through the conference that your organization is organizing. So I would say that's one of the most important perspectives of my European identity that I have been developing, especially in the last 10 years or even a bit more now.
When we are talking about the European values, there is a very wide spectrum of values. But if I ask you which value is the most important value for you from the all European values, what you would say?
It's actually difficult to point only one, but there is a definition of what would be the European values, and I would definitely go for a few of them, such as like democracy, rule of law, human rights. I would say that none of these single things could go separated one from each other. It's a really important, let's say, package of values, of statements, of tools, let's say, to promote the European idea, the idea of European solidarity. So yeah, definitely I would go for some of these, like human rights, democracy, and rule of law. I know that many people are probably saying the same, but when you have combination of these values on achieved or on one place, I would say that we can live in a truly united and solidar community such as Europe is. And when I think of Europe, it's not only the European Union, it's beyond European Union. It's more like Council of Europe, let's say, so like 47 plus member states. Croatia has not been the member of the European Union for many years. So before the accession to the European Union, we were also promoting these European values, European idea, and actually trying to achieve them after the collapse of the ex-country, and actually to promote and to establish the democracy, the rule of law, and the respect and promotion of the human rights. Still, it's a big challenge, but I would say that we need a clear goal and a clear vision of what we want to achieve, because it's being challenged on a daily basis, especially here in the Western Balkan region. but if we set it as a ultimate goal, I think that we can speak of truly democratic and the real European community and the neighborhood. So to conclude, definitely democracy, rule of law, and human rights.
And do you think that these are the values that are that other young people from the region are practicing as well? That they do believe in these values in general?
Well, I would say it's a challenge not only for young people but for the whole region as such. I would say that many young people or citizens in general may not be able to define these values as something that they wanna live, support, or strive for, but somewhere deep in themselves, I mean in ourselves, we of course have it, because it's a basic human thing, and proper thing to believe in. I think that in the last couple of years, it's that the situation is getting better in terms of networking in the region, communication between young people. I mean, between in between of our countries, but of course, in order to expect young people to have developed such feeling for such values or respect for such values, I would say that first we would, as a society, we have to offer something to these young people actually to understand the importance of these values. And we can say that it starts from the education, not only from the primary or secondary school, but even from the kindergarten or from the family. And one of the tools could be through the education, like human rights education or citizens civic education, where basically we as a society would be able to provide young people with some basic understandings, knowledge, skills, in order to actually see what is society, why our societies are built on values that we have today, what should be change, and so on. So I would say that our region is not separated or marginalized comparing with the rest of the Europe and rest of the European Union. We all do have our own specific perspectives, but I would say that we are on a good way, which definitely should be more and more supported by institutions, by various programs or society as such, in order to actually empower young people to see what kind of needs they have, but also what kind of rights they have within our societies. So we are living in a specific region, but this region is part of Europe. Some countries are part of the European Union, and this is actually the environment and the society which we should actually build more and more based on European values, which are again democracy, human rights, and the rule of law.
I would speak now more for North Macedonia, but mainly in the past few years, there is a huge feeling of Euroscepticism among the young people. So I would like to ask you, as you have been practicing and demonstrating the European values and you've been working in European structures, how to bring Europe closer to the young people, how to promote the values, and they to start trusting that the EU, it's not only economical or political union, but it can represent a union among the young people where they can share their knowledge, where they can meet other people and they can enjoy and improve the quality of their lives.
Yeah, I can agree that many young people, but also citizens in general, do have this feeling or statement against European Union or against European integration. I mean, the Euroscepticism. I would say that it's a negative phenomena spread across Europe, and it's not only specific for our region or for our countries. It's a big challenge, and now when we are facing the big crisis, which is also the economic, we might even see the rise of the Euroscepticism in some parts of Europe or in some countries. But I would say that European integration and European values are actually solution for such a negative trends or negative opinions about our European community. We can see now, even in this crisis, how European Union and European idea are actually jumping into this situation, helping member states are helping each other. Budgets are being now focused more on a post-crisis period. We will even see how the new long-term budget will be shaped. And also this support and solidarity is not only focused on member states, but it's also going beyond the EU borders, let's say. So European Union is also showing its solidarity and spreading it actually in the Western Balkans region or Africa Mediterranean pool. So I would say that without European Union, without European idea, which is not only stick to the European Union, many things would be harder, and we would face many more challenges that we are facing at this moment. But in order to inform citizens on what's going on and why the European tools or European ideas or European programs are important, better information is needed, more visible maybe activities, campaigns are also needed. And that's where education, where civil society, where institutions definitely could jump in, or as many of them are also already involved, they could, or maybe they even should foster up their activities, actions in this field. It's not only spreading the propaganda, it's actually talking positive stories about the things that European Union or European institutions and member states are already doing. Many EU neighboring countries are members of the various programs, specifically, especially the ones linked to young people, to the education, to the academia, to the civil society as such, to the economy, to the employment, to the tourism, to the agriculture, to various sectors. So storytelling on successful examples and successful stories could definitely change a bit perspective of these groups of citizens that are expressing Eurosceptic thoughts, which is completely fine. We are living in democratic societies. So any kind of political statement, while we are not canceling or speaking against the human rights, is fine. So let's say that everything we are doing now with the help of the European institutions. I mean, I'm also working for one of them, and I can see how these campaigns and communication is going. But if it doesn't reach the single citizens, the groups of citizens, we won't change much. But it's the responsibility of our governments, of our institutions, and as I already said, of the civil society and education system, also the media. Together we should find new ways how to approach our societies, our citizens, our individual citizens, in order to open up some kind of arena for the discussion, in order to see what's good, what we should change, what doesn't work, especially now in a really challenging times of crisis, and even more challenging time of post-crisis, which we still have to see how it will actually work, and how the next year and next years here in Europe will look like.
Since you mentioned the crisis, I would ask a challenging question. According to you, during this crisis, which European value was more visible out of
Uh,
all values?
yeah, I would say solidarity was somehow most frontline value, if we can call it just as a single value. When everything started with the single countries, then the neighboring countries were helping, regardless borders of the European Union. Now I'm speaking about the European community as such. Then, for example, in the mid of Corona crisis, we have had also big earthquake here in Zagreb, which pretty much destroyed the old part of the city. And we saw European solidarity in action there. Neighboring countries were offering help, sending special teams, sending the materials to help the citizens, but also the authorities to tackle this crisis. But overall, I would say solidarity as such was and still is the most visible value which is being shown now during the crisis. But I think it will also stay as one of the main values also in the upcoming years. Not all member states, not all countries at the continent are being hit by the crisis on the same level. So if we want to get soon out of this crisis, we will definitely have to act together. And yeah, I mean, if we are following the news, we can see already now how the member states and European institutions are acting. Um, some are saying that it was not fast enough. Some are saying that it's not enough. But I think we are on a good track now. There are still big challenges ahead of us. But to be true, not a single European country could go through this crisis alone, and that's why I think this will be, unfortunately, it's a bad moment, but this will be a really good example to show everybody how good, solidar and united continent and the community can fight this crisis at this moment, but also in a post-crisis period and times.
And finally, what would be Marco last final message to the young people from the region, to the young people from the region, and to the International Youth Conference community, let's say?
My message would definitely be to stick together, to stay connected, to find new ways of cooperation, of participation within the society, and even beyond our own community. I think this kind of cooperation and communication is one of the biggest values that we have here in the region, despite many challenges. And I think it's the unique position that young people can promote and can fight for. um, we will have many challenges ahead of us, from economy to maybe mobility, communication, and this cooperation. But I think that together we can definitely successfully fight it, and that in a couple of years from now we will have some really good results that came out of this crisis. And yeah, I definitely hope that your conference and many other regional initiatives will keep working on, maybe with the new tools now and using new ways. But if we stick together and if we keep on promoting and advocating for human rights and for the youth rights here in the region, but even beyond, I think we will have some really good results to show in a couple of years from now.
Thank you very much. Take care of yourself, and I hope that we will see each other soon.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm always glad to talk to you and to participate in the activities of your organization. And yeah, definitely, if we don't see each other face in face this year, we have some online tools to do that. But I really hope that soon we will be able to do something something also in person.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.